I first saw Peau when I was 16, and it changed my whole life. In that film, there are three dresses: the color of the moon, the color of the sun, and the color of the weather. And I just thought I would be a princess at my prom, and I bought this vintage wedding dress and I decorated it. And I showed up to the prom, and I was just the laughingstock because it was the most hideous. I did the worst job. When I did start to make films, I kept in some ways aspiring to films like Peau or films like the Hollywood Technicolor musicals that I watched as a kid. I think the formula that Jacques Demy uses, which is combining this beautiful, magical fairy tale world with very dark and very realistic psychological material, is something that I use as a template for my own work. I think that is also what I try to do, is I try to create a certain logic in my films, and then you're allowed to do anything once you create that logic. I've studied those props and costumes over and over and over and over again. And for my film, The Love Witch, I actually almost kind of copied a couple of the costumes, which are the wedding costumes that the prince and princess wear at the end of Peau. And so I created my own wedding sequence, which is similar to the wedding sequence in Peau, but this is where the psychological darkness comes into my film, because it's not a real wedding and they're not in love. Only one of them is in love, and this is where the heartache comes in.
Now ye are wed.
I'm not really interested in male fantasy in film. I'm interested in comprehensive stories that include women a little bit more, and especially in female fantasy. When I start to detect misogyny in a movie, it kind of ruins the movie for me. I completely lost interest in male gaze movies a really long time ago, even before I started making films.
We may be grown women, but underneath we're just little girls.
Film had shifted. That was really unfortunate, because I think that cinema could have continued to have different kinds of styles that were considered valid. I remember I was very confused in art school and in film school early on, because I was trying to do what everybody else was trying to do.